Hi listeners, welcome to the video lecture series on power electronics. In the previous video, we have seen the analytical problems on holding current and latching current. In this video, I am going to demonstrate the same problem using MATLAB Simulink. Let us go into the demonstration. Once you have installed your MATLAB in your personal computer, you will get an icon of MATLAB in your desktop. Double-clicking this MATLAB icon will take you to a screen something like this. This is a three windows are available. One is what you call it as command window, second one is the workspace, and the third one is command history. There are two methods of simulating a circuit or simulating a system in MATLAB. One is you can type the commands in the command window and simulate it. Other one is you have a graphical user interface tool. The graphical user interface tool of MATLAB is called as Simulink. So to go to Simulink, just click this new, go to Simulink model. Once you press that Simulink model, it will take you to another screen which will be something like this. This is what the graphical user interface tool of the MATLAB. So you have an icon called library browser. In that, you just click this library browser. It will take you to another window something like this, and to the left of this window you have lot of options. Some of the options are Simulink, Aerospace block set, communication system toolbox, computer vision system toolbox. So these options are called as toolboxes, and the corresponding toolbox, the elements to the corresponding toolbox will be listed on the right hand side. If I click this Simulink, you can see the elements of this Simulink. If I click this commonly used blocks, you can see the elements of this commonly used block. Similarly, we have an option called Sim Power System in a toolbox called Simscape. The Sim Power System toolbox is the toolbox which is used to simulate the electronic circuit or electrical circuits. So now I am going to use this Simulink toolbox and Sim Power System toolbox to simulate the system simulate the circuit which we have studied in the previous video. Before we enter into the simulation of the circuit which we have seen in the previous video, let us have a glance of the problem what we have seen in the previous video. This is the problem which I am trying to solve it by using Simulink. So you can see that there is a thyristor in the circuit, and the latching current of the thyristor is 50 microamperes. So this latching current of this thyristor is 50 microamperes, and it has a firing pulse of 50 microsecond width. I am going to apply a pulse to this thyristor. That pulse is having a width of 50 microseconds, and the input source is a DC which is 100 volt, and the load is an RL load which has a resistance of 20 ohms and inductance of 0.5 henries. So I want to find out whether this particular thyristor will trigger for this particular width or not. I am going to find out. So the solution is the time, when time t is equals to 50 microseconds, the current through this device is 9.99 milliamperes, which is less than the latching current of the device, which is 50 milliamperes. Since this 9.99 is less than the latching current, the thyristor will not get fired, which means that the thyristor will not turn on. I am going to see the same condition in my simulator also. Now let us go into the simulator. We know that to trigger a thyristor, I need a gate pulse. So first option is I want to generate the gate pulse for a duration of 50 microseconds as given in the problem. So for which you can just click this library browser, go to an option called as sources. In the source we have an option called pulse generator. Please drag that pulse generator and put it in your screen. If you double click this pulse generator, it will be asking for few options, and the options are, it is asking for the amplitude of the pulse, that is the height of the pulse. What is the amplitude? Period of the pulse, and pulse width in terms of percentage of period, and phase delay in terms of seconds. So pulse width, it is given in the problem as 50 microseconds, and it is asked, it is 50 microseconds. I cannot give it directly here because it is asked in terms of percentage of the period. Period of the pulse is not given in the problem. So let us assume some value here. Let me take 0.1 as the period of the pulse and 50 microseconds. So I want to find out how much is the percentage of that 50 microseconds in this 0.1. So for which let me take a calculator, and 50 micro, so 10 to the power of minus 6, so 10 to the power of minus 6 is this value into 50. This is the width of the pulse in terms of seconds. I converted into microseconds to seconds, and here the period is 0.1, so divide it with 0.1 will give me the percentage, which is 0.0005. So let me keep that pulse width here, 0.0005. This 0.1 is the assumption, we can have any value, but according to that value this percentage of pulse width has to be changed. Let me click apply and give OK. Now my pulse width I have generated for 50 microseconds. But before giving it to a thyristor, let me verify I am generating the pulse width properly or not. So for which I should need some measuring value instrument to see the pulse generator actually clearly. So for which let me go to Simulink library browser, go to Sinks. We have an option called scope. The scope, it is possible to view the waveform in the scope, which is something like a CRO in our laboratory. You double click this scope, it will open another screen. You go to parameters, you go to history tab, remove this checkbox, click apply, give OK. This is the procedure that you have to do it for all the scopes which you use in your simulation. Close this. Now I have generated a pulse of 50 microseconds and I connected to a scope to view whether my pulse generator is generating properly or not. Okay. Now there is an option called stop time. This stop time you have to keep it as 0.1, which is the period of this pulse width. If you keep 0.2 here, then the stop time also you change it to 0.2. That does not matter anything. Okay, now it is ready. Now what is the important thing is you have to go to simulation, model configuration parameters. There are few options that you have to make it very clear here. By default, it will be the solver option will be by default it is ODE 43. ODE means it is ordinary differential equation. Whatever I am drawing here, the backside of it will be converted into a differential equation and it will be solved by using this particular solver, and the result of that is again brought back to me in this front screen. So now for power electronics simulations, ODE 23 TB is the best option. You select this ODE 23 TB for power electronics. ODE means ordinary differential equation. Now here the maximum step size you want to give it as 1e minus 5 and minimum step size is 1e minus 6. These values it is permanent for almost most of the simulations. So you can have these values, click apply and give OK. Now I am going to run this simulation. To run this simulation you have an option called run button here. So press this run button. Once you press this run button, you can see a progress bar going in this location. You can see that the progress bar, once it is completed, which means that simulation has been completed. Just click this. You can see that there is progress bar has been moved and simulation is completed. Now let me double click this and you can see that the option is completely something like this. It is showing something like this. You could not see anything. The small yellow line on the left side and right side you could able to see. To visualize it clearly, right click, go to axis properties. By default now it is from 0 to 1. Let me change that to -2 to +2. The y-axis, the axis parameters values are changed from -2 to +2. So click apply. Now you can see that it is changing from -2 to +2. Now let me see the pulse. Pulse, if you looked at, you can just click this y-axis zoom and you can just look at, there is a pulse here. There is a pulse. So now this pulse, if you look at it, is starting from 0. The pulse immediately once the simulation has been started, pulse is generated. But I don't want to do that. I want to have the pulse after some time. Maybe at this point I want to generate the pulse. Before that it should be 0. So for which you have an option called delay, phase delay. So let me delay this by 0.02 seconds. 0.1 is the period and delaying it with 0.02. I click apply and give OK and again run the simulation and again double click this, give auto scale and again go to axis properties, give -2 to +2, click apply and give OK. Now you can see that the pulse is generated at 0.02 seconds. So 0.02 the pulse is being generated. So now the important thing is the pulse is generated at 0.02. So from 0 to 0.02 there is no pulse, and there is a width of this pulse is 50 microseconds. After 50 microseconds again it has become 0. If this width is okay or not, that is what the problem is. So I am going to build the power circuit which I shown earlier in my PowerPoint presentation. So I need few elements. You go to Simulink library browser, scroll down, go to Sim Power Systems, electrical sources. I need a DC voltage source. If you remember the problem which I was showing in the presentation, I need a DC voltage source. I just drag it, put it out. So DC power source has come here. If you double click this DC power source, it is by default having 100 volt. In our problem also it is 100 volt. So leave it. So again go to Simulink library browser. Again I need thyristor. So go to Power Electronics, under Sim Power Systems, go to Power Electronics. You have an option called detailed thyristor. Drag it, put it out. And you need a load. Again go to Simulink library browser. You go to elements. You have a series RLC branch. You just drag it and put it out. It is RLC. All the three components are present. But in my problem I require only R and L. So double click. You go, just type, select the branch type as RL. If you remember, the resistance of the problem is 20 and inductance is 0.5 henries. So 20 ohms and 0.5 henries, I give it and click apply. Once I click apply, you can see that only R and L will be visible, C will be gone. So click that, you can see that only R and L is visible and C has gone. Click OK and just click this, rotate it by pressing Ctrl R in your keyboard. It will rotate. Keep it conveniently in your screen. Now in order to verify the simulation, I need to look at the load voltage and load current, for which I need measurement ports. So go to measurements, Sim Power Systems. You have an option called measurement. You have an option called current measurement. You drag it, put it out. You have an option called voltage measurement. Drag it and put it out. These things are nothing but like ammeter and voltmeter which we use it in our laboratory. Now you can just drag it and connect it as per the requirement. Now I am going to connect it and show you the final connections. Now the circuit is completely connected and you can see that I have a voltmeter ammeter and I would like to look at the voltage and current waveforms. Just right click on the scope because I need a scope to view it. Right click on the scope, drag the scope, double click on the scope, go to settings, parameters, and I need two axes because one to view the current and other to view the voltage. So you change the number of axes to 2, click apply and give OK, and you can able to see that I could now this is something like a 2-channel oscilloscope. You connect voltage to one channel and current to another channel. Now I would like to connect the gate pulse. This is the gate pulse which we have generated already. So there is a gate terminal in my detailed thyristor also. Connect it like this. Now double click on this detailed thyristor and you have an option called latching current here. The latching current of the problem given is 50 milliamperes. So 50 into e power minus 3. So this is the latching current of the problem which we are under discussing. So give that latching current alone. It is asking lot other parameters. Don't worry about other things because in this problem we are concentrating only on the latching current. So click apply and give OK. Once all these are completed, you go to Simulink library browser, click on Sim Power Systems. You have an option called Power GUI. This is required for simulating any power electronic circuits. So just drag it, put it on the screen. You have nothing to do with this as of right now. Just drag it and put it on the screen. Now everything is completed. Now the circuit is ready for simulation. You click this run button to simulate. Just click this and now the simulation is completed. Now I am opening the screen. This voltage and current values. Scope. Right click, give auto scale. Right click, give auto scale. So at this point of time only I am applying the gate pulse. If you remember, at 0.02 seconds I am applying the gate pulse. So till 0.02 this thyristor will be in off condition. At 0.02 I am trying to apply the gate pulse. So it will try to turn on. My question in the problem is whether it has turned on or not. Turned on or not. So double click this and let us see that if you look at the current has raised, but again it has come down and it has made 0. It has become 0. Similarly, the voltage has raised and again it has come to 0. Means that initially the thyristor is trying to turn on, but it is not turned on. If it is turned on, what will be the load voltage? It is turned on. If it is on, the input voltage is 100. Same input voltage should appear across the load. So, but now here the voltage is not 100. It has raised to some value, but again it has come to again 0, which means that thyristor is not turned on, which was the result of the same problem which we had discussed in the analytical problem sessions. Now little bit, let me see that if I increase the width of this pulse width, instead of 50 microseconds, let me give 60 microseconds. Click apply and give OK. Again run the simulation. Let me see what is happening here. Double click. Wow, what you have seen. The current is also rising. The voltage has become 100 volt. Right? Now the thyristor has been completely turned on. So now if the width of the pulse, if it is increased to 60 microseconds, the thyristor has been completely turned on. You can see that very clearly. The thyristor is completely turned on. Whereas if the width of the pulse is 50 microseconds, the thyristor is trying to turn on and it has come down to 0 again. That Y means the current passing through the thyristor is less than the latching current in the first condition, that is when it is 50 microseconds. If it is 60 microseconds, the thyristor, anode to cathode current of the thyristor is more than the latching current, so the thyristor has been turned on. So this is what all about this lecture. Now I think that you could able to understand what is the meaning of the latching current and what is the meaning of the turning, why pulse width is important. In this video, you could able to understand how a thyristor is triggered by using simulation technique by using MATLAB Simulink. The next video will look into the various turn-on methods of SCR. Thank you for your patient listening. Thank you.